At the heart of the city, a pizzeria named Papa's Slice stood as a beacon of comfort in the bustling urban landscape. Mark, a college student struggling to make ends meet, worked as a pizza delivery man for the restaurant. He had heard whispers of strange occurrences surrounding the pizzeria, but dismissed them as mere superstitions. Little did he know, he was about to embark on a journey that would forever change his perception of reality. One fateful night, Mark received an unusual order with specific instructions. The address led him to a secluded mansion at the edge of town, nestled amidst a forest shrouded in darkness. His gut told him to turn back, but the promise of a hefty tip compelled him to proceed. The mansion's towering facade exuded an air of foreboding, as if it held secrets too dreadful to be unveiled. The mansion's grand doors creaked open, revealing a dimly lit foyer. Mark's footsteps echoed as he entered, feeling as if he had stepped into a different realm altogether. He was greeted by a mysterious figure named Victor, who seemed to know him intimately despite their never having met before. Victor's demeanor was both welcoming and unsettling, his words laced with hidden meanings. As Mark ventured further into the mansion, he stumbled upon a gathering of individuals dressed in elaborate attire. The room was adorned with eerie paintings that seemed to shift and change when no one was looking. The guests regarded Mark with knowing glances, as if they were privy to a secret he had yet to discover. Their conversation hinted at a dark pact, and Mark's unease deepened. Victor led Mark to a lavish dining hall, where a feast of decadent dishes awaited. The aroma was intoxicating, but Mark's appetite waned as he realized the true nature of the food. Each dish seemed to hold a sinister energy, an embodiment of the secrets and malevolence that pulsed within the mansion's walls. The guests feasted with an unnatural fervor, their laughter echoing with a haunting melody. As the night unfolded, Victor revealed the mansion's chilling history. It had once been a sanctuary for a secret society that dabbled in the occult, seeking forbidden knowledge and power. The society's leader, a figure named Serafina, had made a pact with an ancient entity that promised eternal life in exchange for souls. The mansion had become a vessel for the entity, a conduit for its insidious influence. Mark realized he had become a pawn in a sinister ritual designed to fulfill the entity's hunger for souls. The guests, entranced by the mansion's dark magic, prepared to offer their lives willingly to the entity. Mark's instincts screamed at him to escape, but the mansion's supernatural grip held him in its clutches. He had to find a way to break free before the ritual's culmination. In a hidden chamber, Mark encountered a woman named Leela, a former member of the society who had managed to resist the entity's control. Lila revealed that an ancient artifact known as the Talisman of Severance could weaken the entity's hold and disrupt the ritual. Together, they embarked on a perilous quest within the mansion's labyrinthine corridors, avoiding the watchful gaze of the entity's disciples. As Mark and Leela delved deeper into the mansion's secrets, they uncovered traces of the past, forgotten journals, cryptic symbols, and relics imbued with dark magic. They pieced together the tragic stories of those who had fallen victim to the entity's insatiable appetite. The mansion seemed to pulse with echoes of their suffering, the walls bearing witness to the horrors that had transpired within. Guided by their newfound knowledge, Mark and Leela returned to the dining hall just as the ritual reached its climax. The entity's presence loomed, its dark energy manifesting in ethereal tendrils that snaked through the room. With the Talisman of Severance in hand, they confronted the entity's disciples, engaging in a desperate battle against the forces that sought to ensnare them. Leela's voice rang out with ancient incantations, her words resonating with the magic of the talisman. Mark, fueled by adrenaline and determination, fought alongside her. Arcane energy clashed with malevolent forces, unleashing bursts of ethereal light that illuminated the room's darkness. The entity's disciples fought fiercely, their eyes ablaze with fanatic devotion. As the battle raged on, Mark and Leela channeled the talisman's power, weakening the entity's grip on the mansion and its inhabitants. The room trembled, and a guest's trance was broken, replaced by shock and confusion. The entity's form contorted in a frenzy of rage and desperation, its hold slipping away like smoke through their fingers. With a final surge of magic, the talisman emitted a blinding burst of light, shattering the entity's influence. The mansion quaked, its walls seeming to groan as the malevolent force retreated. The disciples' attacks grew weaker, and their forms faded into nothingness, leaving behind only the residue of their malevolence. In the chaos that followed, Mark and Leela seized the opportunity to flee the mansion's grasp. The entity's wails echoed through the corridors as they raced against time to reach the mansion's entrance. The very foundation seemed to shake as they stepped into the night, the mansion's malevolent presence seeping away like a dissipating fog. Gasping for breath, Mark and Leela collapsed on the mansion's steps, their bodies still humming with the remnants of magic. The night air was cold and crisp, a stark contrast to the oppressive atmosphere they had left behind. Stars blinked overhead, reminding them that the world outside the mansion's walls was real and tangible. As dawn broke, the mansion stood silent and abandoned, its facade a stark reminder of the horrors that had transpired within. Mark and Leela emerged as survivors, forever changed by their encounter with the supernatural. The pizzeria's whispers of the occult had been more than superstitions. They had been harbingers of an ancient evil that had sought to claim their souls. Exhausted but resolute, Mark and Leela returned to their lives, haunted by the events that had transpired within the mansion. The pizzeria continued to operate, its patrons blissfully unaware of the darkness that had lurked nearby. Mark often wondered if the entity's influence had truly been eradicated, or if its lingering shadows still whispered through the night, waiting for another unsuspecting soul to stumble upon its malevolent domain. Years later, Mark reflected on the events that had unfolded within the mansion's walls. The pizzeria remained a bustling hub, its patrons blissfully unaware of the darkness that had lurked nearby. Mark often wondered if the entity's influence had truly been eradicated, or if its lingering shadows still whispered through the night, waiting for another unsuspecting soul to stumble upon its malevolent domain. The mansion, though deserted, held a haunting odor. Stories of its eerie history circulated, the truth obscured by time and fear. As the city continued to thrive, its residents moved forward, leaving behind the mansion and its malevolent legacy. Yet deep within the shadows of the past, the mansion's secrets remained, an unspoken reminder that darkness could lie just beyond the veneer of reality.